What's going on, guys? Welcome. This is day 11, and today I have a special guest, and we're going to talk about personal development. For those of you guys that are brand new and maybe not know who am I, my name is Rafa Vieco. I'm coming to you guys from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And today I actually going to talk about personal development as a parent. So this is my son, Damien, and we've been actually for the last couple of years, actually, since I started on my entrepreneurship journey, I've been actually teaching Damon a lot of things that I have actually come in. So today, if you guys are watching, let me know if you're watching live or replay. Right now, Damien just showed me after 4 years using the same mic that I had it backwards. So you don't have to be perfect. It still sounded okay, and I didn't realize there is another way of adjusting the mic. So hopefully you guys can hear me well. I am unmuted. Last time I didn't mute it, so most of you guys are going to watch replay. It is a bit later on today, but I am doing this live Facebook Live challenge. I do it every single day for the last 11 days. I'm going to continue on. As you guys know as well, I have started something either better too, because I challenged myself altogether too. But in regards to personal development, I talked about sort of what I've been going through. But today with Damien, I want to talk about just having a conversation and have a discussion because Damien, he just turned 18, so he's an adult here in Canada. And one of the biggest things that we've been always working on is always for him to learn a new skill, have a side hustle. He had side businesses. And right now, he's training to be a pilot. He is getting his pilot license. But one of the other things that he's been working on, we actually just talked about this week, he's looking to picking school, picking everything else. And personal development is one of the biggest things that we always know. And we know that we want to pass it on to our kids. But sometimes, they just don't listen. Like I didn't listen when I was younger. But he does come for advice, and it's been actually pretty good. So, Damien, if you want to just say hi,
Hi. I don't know.
Let's go. So one of
Been a
the,
while.
so I know it's been a while since we did Facebook Live together. So, but one of the things with when we were actually talking about it, and I just want to have a little discussion, is I remember you were learning. Remember how you learned the video editing, everything else that you open side businesses, then you learn invisible drop shipping, all those things like that. What's your feedback from it? What's one thing that you have to learn from it?
Stick to it, definitely.
Okay. So, let's talk about, let's say, the drop shipping. So what were the things that you were learning? And because I know we always talk about, I even try to get you read books and development, but you got into Air Cadets when you were 12 years old.
Yeah.
How long you been with Air Cadets for
now? 6 years now, finishing up my last year. So the day before I turn 19 is when I age out.
Okay. And right now you're the highest ranking officer. You just got promoted. So you're in charge of
everyone.
How big is the squadron?
200 cadets.
Okay. And so when you started when you were 12 years old, what's one of let's talk about cadets because they have a lot of personal development, leadership, and things like that. So what is some of the things that you were doing in a personal development? How does cadets helped you in personal development and leadership?
Definitely, I became more confident, being able to speak to others more clearly, being able to answer questions properly and in depth. Able to speak to large crowds that I'm not comfortable with, and I know tips and tricks on how to kind of overcome that fear.
Yeah.
Definitely just more mature in cadets, learned a lot of life skills about just everything, whether that's survival, ways to take notes, ways to teach even. It's a lot of personal development that I've had through cadets.
Okay. So let's say if you have maybe parents, so if you're a parent right now, maybe you're thinking about where do I put kids in school, maybe cadets. I remember when you're first coming in at first, I had my youngest, so we have a 15-year-old and we have Damon 18 years now. So they both went in. Adam started later on when he was turned 12. And one of the things that wasn't for him, but it is a lot of standing around. And, especially in Vancouver, when we were going there was a lot of rain. But one thing that you liked the most was always that going in and figure out what you're going to do in life and you want to be a pilot. So you started flying gliders, I think, really early on.
Yeah, when I was 12.
Yeah.
And even powered aircrafts when I was 12. We went every weekend.
Okay, so that's just something that in personal development, whenever you learn something, it doesn't have to be necessarily just reading books to school and everything else, but just having that ability to learn from others And I think leadership was one of your biggest things that you have learned, and just being more mature. He doesn't listen sometimes, but which kid doesn't listen sometimes? But at the same time, too, is he's been helping me with my business as well too. We actually opened couple businesses together. One of the things, he learned a skill in school and leverage it, and he was able to do the video editing. He had that. It was like, Dad, I just made $45 US in an hour. Remember?
Yeah.
So that was actually pretty cool. And obviously money is motivating. And then we did invisible drop shipping, which you're learning how to sell things, resell things, and being able to how to negotiate different skills. So everything is a skill. And I think as a parent, we do our best to teach our kids, especially in those days. Now the world is crazy. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, and but sometimes kids spend a lot of times on electronics or devices, playing video games, doing things. And obviously, you can't stop all of it, but if you give them something, I think one of the things that we made a deal is, with Adam and Damien, was whenever they did sports, we had one rule: you start something, if you don't like it, just finish the season. He had to finish. So you did baseball, taekwondo, you did soccer, like you've done every single thing. And I think when you get into Air Cadets, that was your thing. You just fell in love with it, and it was really good for you to be able to learn it. But I think personal development is something that a lot of kids need, especially when you have boys or girls. Air Cadets, I think, is any cadets. I was in Army Cadets when I was younger, and he wanted to Air Cadets. There's this thing, Sea Cadets.
There's police cadets in Calgary.
And there's police cadets as well too. But I think it's good for personal development, and that's why we're talking about personal development. So if you guys are joining live, just leave a comment. Let us know if you're watching live or replay. But I'm here with my son, Damien. He's 18 right now, and you're going to be flying solo soon. He's getting his pilot license, but he wasn't easy, especially during this time right now. His scholarship, So imagine this, okay? If he's learned how to handle a certain situation, we've been teaching him stuff like that. But one of the biggest things that he ended up having was you had. Last year, when all this COVID hit, he actually qualified for, I think it was a $30,000 scholarship to get his pilot license from Air Cadets. And then guess what? COVID hit, they canceled the camp. So that was canceled. So this year, he reapplied. He was down to 2. He had to do all the tests, everything. And he ended up getting, again, the same scholarship. And guess what? They canceled the camp. So what do we do? He's got his last year. He needs to get it. He's going to school. We need to pay privately. So we paid privately. No problem. He was going to an airport, going to school. We paid for it all. And halfway through, not even halfway through.
Yeah, just at the few months
into it, they closed down the airport. And the school closed down, and now they're suing the airport. So now he's like, third time. So now he has to drive farther out. We got another school that he's going to. But I think, when we talk about personal development even for kids, as a parent, you want to teach them as much as possible. You want to pass them the knowledge and stuff. But I think sometimes it's just figuring out and going through the process. So what's up, James? I see some of you guys are still up and stuff. So yeah, it's nice when you pass it on, the information. I mean, I remember when I didn't read books before I started my online marketing and learning from different people what's possible. And I remember Damien, one of the things that he learned was just always thrive to do something better. And the skill of learning something new, I think, was big, because now he has options. You have options a different way. And right now we just had a discussion about school and then where he's going to be going to and what he wants to do. And if this doesn't work, where do you go next? But I think your leadership is amazing in regards to being in charge of 200-300 cadets. He's got to use his voice loud and to be ranking up and getting to a highest officer. I'm proud of you. And, I think we did pretty good as a parent so far.
Yeah, I think so.
But at the same time, they need to learn, they need to do different things. So if you have anyone that is watching and maybe a parent that thinking maybe about teaching kids, why do you like cadets and stuff like that? Why do you think a parent should, you have new cadets coming in, what is the one thing that you teach them? The new kids, the ones that are 12 or 13, they're starting out.
What do I teach them?
Yeah, what are some of the things you guys start out with? Do you guys start with, obviously, listening, drills and stuff?
Yeah, so at the beginning, it's kind of what the cadet program is about and what you can get out of it. teach them basic drill. That's like the first, second year. Teach them how to work together as a team instead of an individual. Teamwork is the biggest thing. Then your third and fourth year is where you start learning, like you majorly focus on aviation and leadership. So that's when you start learning what makes a good leader, how to be a good role model. They kind of start taking charge and learning how to teach lessons, and then they start practicing. And then fifth year is where you're thrown into a leadership position as a senior, and you're expected to take what you learned and be able to teach and apply that to your teaching, everything you've learned.
Yeah.
And then there's your sixth and seventh year, where it's your senior ranks, and then you are the ones helping with the fifth years.
But then the development where we talked about, because we talked about personal development, and a lot of times as a kid, things like they don't need it, but it does need. And reading books, become more confident, the leadership skills, all the stuff. And I think in high school sometimes too, kids take on certain roles in school to be involved in certain groups, counseling, maybe doing a yearbook at the end, whatever it is. That teaches leadership too. And I know in high school you graduated last year. So right now you're going to be heading out to which school we're getting into?
Mount Royal University.
Mount Royal University you're going to be going to. So it'll be awesome to see. But yeah, no, again, lot of different topics we could talk about. I thought I'll bring them out here tomorrow. If you guys are here still, day 12, we're going to be talking about. I think I'll figure out a topic. But yeah, again, thank you guys for all the support. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And again, this was just a relaxing, just wanted to have a conversation. My son was here. We're just having a conversation. I'm like, oh, let's go hop on live here and just talk about little thing. And yeah, thank you guys for all the comments. Don't forget, if you're just watching, if you're hopping on here, don't hesitate to hit up the little like button, put a comment, share this a little bit too. And then again, if you're a parent, be proud of yourself, because it's not easy raising kids those days. So yeah.
I make it pretty hard.
So. But yeah, no, I think it's been really good. And I think one of the things is that coming into that, being a parent, you're responsible for someone. This is just the beginning. Now the school, kids are expensive those days. That's why you need a side hustle. If you don't have a side hustle and you're working a regular job and you're struggling paycheck to paycheck, we were just talking about it because Damon has his job and he's got to pay for his, his car, his gas, his insurance and stuff like that. Supposed to be paying for his cell phone, but anyways, guys, so leave you guys with that. Awesome. Thanks, Damian, for being here. And for you guys that are watching, as always, there's always a way to celebrate every single time you see something. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.